My name's Aaron. Welcome back to my channel. How are you? I am fantastic. Today I'm reviewing Dior Purple Oud. As you know, I am a oud snob and oud connoisseur. I love oud very, very much. I use real oud, so I tend to detect it quite quickly within formulations because I think I have now 4 or 5 types. I can't really remember. I rotate them, so I love them as an accord in different ways. Personally, my most favourite one is Thai oud. I love it, and in case you're wondering, I think about 30ml is about £800 to 800 and £1,000. It is very, very expensive, but I personally really love using it. So I very much look forward to trying formulations with oud in, because I love it. Oud and rose and sort of Middle Eastern fragrances are my most favourites. They tend to be a bit more powerful, a bit more suitable for my skin type. So, do we have our fragrance samples? Are we engaged with our higher self? Let's get testing. So this is £270 for 125ml, so it's the top end of what I consider very expensive. And this is Purple Oud, presented by Christian Dior, expresses the Oriental dream. It was launched in 2018. The fragrance consists of powerful wood combined with lively notes. Dominant notes include orange, blends with fresh spice such as pink, peppercorn, saffron. This shimmering oud will seduce those that like the animal strength of this heady wood, polished, brightened version that plays out in the background. So we're getting animal notes. We're getting oud, saffron, so this really is, and then bright notes flickering through. So let's see. This is very dominant in cashmere and woods. That's what I'm picking up on Isu Super, on Hedione. And there are some other wood notes coming through. Some sort of sandalwoody, not sandalwoody notes coming through. There are some leathery notes. So there are some compounds used to make leather accords. And I have 4. And they go from sort of being very hard leather to sort of quite soft leather, and how you combine them will give the sort of leathery chord that you want. So if you want a very dominant sexual leather, you can mix in 2 or 3 in differing percentages. But then these can be used, a couple of these can be used to give a masculine feel at trace amounts. So you won't perceive it as leather, but what you'll perceive as more of a masculine feel. And this is how very masculine fragrances are combined with sort of patchoulis, woods, cedarwood, all these sort of things. And this is what is going on here. We have some ionones to dry out. This is a very dry formulation. There's some sort of pine notes and wood notes sort of whipping through. Balsams. This is an oriental, so it's got some balsams. Gurin, Gurin, balsam with vetiver is sort of whipping around this. It has some sort of herbally feel to it, which is sort of eucalyptus. So it smells a little bit medicinal to me. Eucalyptus is quite high, so I'm picking up the sort of the amber mixed with the herbally notes, combined with sort of Isu Super. Sort of that's so dominant, and then flicking through sort of linalool to give sort of a bergamonte feel. But the leathery note is very dominant. It sort of smells a bit suedey, a bit dominant, sort of mixed in with it. On to my final thoughts. If you'd given this to me, and without the name, I would not say this was oud, and I would not say this is Dior. This is most strange. The Dior I smelled last year, which blew my head off my shoulders. I thought it was incredible. This I do not like at all. It's sort of medicinal, amber, Isu Super. It doesn't smell purple. To me, purple, I love purple, I love violet. And to me, it is always sort of violet, sort of is sort of ultraviolet-y, sort of vibrant. And this is not suitable for the name at all. There's some patchouli in, but low down. So this is going to be quite a weird one actually, because I'm not really enjoying it at all. It smells so medicinal. There's a little bit of sweetness in it. It is not sweet enough for my liking. It's very, and I understand that everyone's tastes are very, very different. But I'm going to, like, I can't help the way that I sort of am, you see. So I'm going to go to the marks. I don't think it's particularly technically fantastic. The Dior one was really mind-blowing and sort of, it was incredibly inspiring. This I don't think is particularly, I think it's very simplistic. I'm going to go through the marks with you. Technically, I don't think it's particularly fabulous, to be honest. It's, what was it? £270. Okay, so technically, it's okay. I don't know quite why Dior would put out something which is so simplistic. I think of Dior as a really complex, fabulous house, and this is really, really underwhelming. It's okay. It's very light. Ouds, I think, should be very powerful and mind-blowing. But bear in mind, I love oud very much, so I'm sort of being very led very personally by this, but I find this sort of is aggravating me a little bit, actually. I don't really like it at all, so technically I'm going to give it a 2 out of 4. I think it's far, far too simplistic. The price is absolutely not the price. Oh, it hasn't got any real oud in at all. I think it's way overpriced, so I'm going to give it a 1 out of 2 for the price. Do I like it? I hate it, actually. I really dislike it. It feels grating. I can just smell the eucalyptus and cashmere and sort of pine. That's sort of what I'm smelling, against sort of like some wood notes. It's very dry, very tart. It desperately needs some sweetness to it, and it desperately needs some, well, if you're calling it oud, it really needs to have real oud in. It sort of has this sort of synthetic saffron, but I have some saffron, which that is outrageously expensive. I'm sort of thinking about creating a very expensive oud, very elevated oud, and that I would use these raw materials. But if it's £270, you really want saffron, you really want rose, you want something mind-blowing, and this is not blowing my head up my shoulders at all. It's making me feel very agitated, actually, so I really want to wash this off. I'm going to mark it a 5 out of 10. I don't think it's worth the money at all. It's got some sort of ambery notes in it. It is very basic. I'm so surprised and so disappointed. Yeah, so I'm going to go and wash this off. I don't like it at all. For an oud, I would not recommend this at all. I think there are much better ouds out there. This is not good. Yeah, 5 out of 10. I really want to wash it off. I don't like this sort of, it smells like, to me, it smells like a bit disinfectant-y, and it smells a little bit like pine cleaner. And I think, as someone who, as you noticed in my range, I have a lot of ouds, I have a special reverence for oud. This is a little bit offensive, actually, because, yeah, it's alright. If it was called something different and the price was half, I'd rate it much higher. But because it's saying it's purple oud, because it's £270, and because it's just like pine and cashmere and Luxlow and all that sort of stuff, so nah, not very good. I'm gonna go and wash this off. Yes, anyway, so I hope you love this review, and I shall see you soon for another one.